Patrick McNeil back here with you at the intermission. As throughout the year, we're profiling the Quebec teams before they come into Centre 200 because we don't see a lot of them. Coming up next Saturday, it's going to be Blainville-Boisbriand visiting Centre 200. Joined now by their play-by-play announcer, Cedrik Blondin. Cedrik, Blainville team, obviously there were high expectations. Hasn't really quite worked out as planned so far. What do you think have been the issues in Blainville? Is the team disappointed with where they're at right now?
Yeah, they are. They are just not playing up to the expectations so far this year. They had a good second half last year after they traded Tourigny and Pinard, those guys. And after that, the young guys progressed through the final stretch of the year. So they thought the team was going forward in the right direction to be at maturity. And so far, it's not happening because there was some injuries. There was a lack of good players like Patrick Gay never came, and then same thing William Trudeau, and nobody seems to be in the right chair so far, and that's the issue so far this year.
We're going to get very familiar with the player who used to play for the Armada, and that's Josh Lawrence, because he was traded to Halifax. Were you surprised that the team decided to part ways with Lawrence? I know the season wasn't going as expected, but as we were also talking about before recording now, there's no healthy 20-year-olds playing on the team anymore.
No, I was not surprised because I heard through some persons a week before that it was a possibility that Lawrence was going to be traded because of the results. And Lawrence played like years in St. John. He's a good hockey player, but sometimes when you come to a new organization, when you're not used to it, it's a bit difficult for a player. He was playing well, he got pointless in his first 6 games for a player of that caliber. It was a bit of a shock for everyone. But now he was doing well with 15 goals in 25 games, 32 points. And after that, he got traded. And it was not a surprise for me so far, but he was traded. And it was the same exact price that they paid to get him from the Eagles at the draft. So sometimes you got the offer that for 2 months, you just have to trade him. And the right team to go get him was the Mooseheads because they have so much talent. They have 2 overagers at that time. And he just fits right in with this club.
One key forward who remains with the Armada is Alexis Gendron, draft pick of the Philadelphia Flyers. Nice to see a guy chosen in his second go-around of eligibility. Just talk a little bit about his play, and I'm sure he's a key part of this Armada team.
Yeah, he is. He's been in a bit of a cold stretch right now. He had a good November month with 7 goals and 5 assists to the month. The last 3 games, just 1 point, 1 assist. He's on pace to score 50 goals thus far, and I will not be surprised if he does do that. He has 18 goals so far in 24 games. He's too good. He has some elite speed, elite shot. He has an NHL skate, NHL shot. That's why he got drafted by the Flyers. His dad is an NHL scout with the Flyers, Martin, his name. There was a good story there at the draft. I heard some good stories that he didn't want to be drafted, but the Flyers, they obliged to draft him because they just like him too much. He's so skilled. He's a good player. He's a 19-year-old. Everyone think he's going to be back at 20. I think he can score another 50 goal next year for sure if he's back in the league. And we'll see. But you'll see next Saturday when he'll be at the Centre 200. He scores a lot of goals. He's quick, really quick.
I also wanted to ask about Brayden Schmitt on the back end because he is a Nova Scotian guy, not a lot of those on the Armada. And I'm assuming he's playing some key minutes there on this defense that doesn't have a ton of experience.
Yeah, and he's the captain of the team at the 18-year-old. They put the C on his jersey at the start of the year, and so far, he has 9 points in 26 games, but he plays like 25 minutes a game, power play, PK. There was not a lot of deepness on the defensive side of the game in the Armada, so he plays a lot of minutes, goes everywhere, so sometimes makes some mistakes because it's in his head when you play too much or it gets stressful sometimes, but he's going to be good. He's good. I kind of been waiting to see him evolve again a bit more, but I'm not worried about him so far. But I just want to add something. We speak a lot about players in the Armada, but we don't talk a lot about Jonathan Fauchon, our 18-year-old. He was already surpassed his career high from last year. He had 31 points. He has 34 right now, our leading scorer for the Armada. And I don't remember if you saw him last year, if he was hurt or something, but he's a different player at 18 right now. I think he's the Armada best player so far this year. He just plays on the PK and power play and 20 minutes a game on the first line. So he's impactful. You'll see them too.
For sure, we'll be watching for Fauchon, Gendron. I mentioned Schmitt on the back end. Any other players that people should be keeping their eye out for? Who's been exciting to watch on this Blainville team this season?
I'll answer Charlotte-Gravel, who's the number one goalie. He's 18 years old. He's in the same draft as Fauchon, Schmitt, a few 18-year-olds in the team, but he's good. He's not at a lot of wins. He has 7 wins on the season in 19 games, but save percentage at .919. That's a really good one when you are 16th in the league. Goals against average at 2.81. That's good in junior. I think he's going to be the guy. If the Armada wants to come back from the 3-game trip in the Maritimes and end it with a win in Sydney, it's going to be needed that Charlotte-Gravel does a good job in the net like he has done so far this year and early in his career.
Eagles will have to try to find a way to solve him when the Armada come to town. We look forward to it. Look forward to seeing you at the rink as well. Cedrik, thanks for this. Have fun covering the team this season.
Thank you, Pat. It's always fun. Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
We appreciate that. That is Cedrik Blondin, the voice of the Blainville-Boisbriand Armada. His team is going to be coming to Center 200 next Saturday. You're listening to the intermission of Cape Breton Credit Union Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.